Good evening. Tonight we're going to try something a little different. Inspired by Mr. Hastings and graduation, we know that we have some parents here whose English is not their native language, and so we're going to attempt to try to talk to you in two languages tonight. So, welcome to our concert.
Bienvenido a nuestro concierto.
We hope you will be able to stay for the entire concert.
Queremos que te quedes por todo el concierto.
After the concert, we will celebrate with a reception in the cafeteria with cookies and punch.
Después del concierto, puedes ir a la cafetería para tomar jugo y comer galletas.
And now for the beginning band.
Y ahora para la banda primera. Tonal patterns, and you should be hearing those at home. They have a sheet of those, and before they start to sit down and practice anything else, you should hear them doing those. Those are their vocabulary words. Those are their building blocks of all melodies. Now, one of our beginning melodies is called Major Duple, and it uses 4 notes, and it gives them a chance to play a note and use their tongue to interrupt the sound. So you can listen for that. Our next tune for you, Peanut Butter, uses only 3 tunes. Now, the nice part about having recorders in 4th grade is they've learned a lot of simple, basic folk melodies by ear, which they should be able to transpose and transport onto their new instrument, Peanut Butter. Can we sing the song, please? Now the last few notes of Peanut Butter, yummy anyway, happens to be the same ending as Mary Had a Little Lamb. Now in Major Duple, we said me, 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 and then we said, oh, ray, 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 and we had a lot of time to think about where we were going to move our finger. In Mary Had a Little Lamb, we're going to do that same type of finger pattern, but all of a sudden, we're going to move much quicker. And listen for the end of Mary and see if you can hear the same ending as Peanut Butter. next one, Jingle Bells, is a familiar melody. Notice that this song is a bit longer than what they've played before, so they have to remember a bit more. And we play it for you now. That song uses several of our tonal patterns as well. In the beginning it uses mi, so, do, and they instinctively want to go re, mi, which is exciting to see that they're using their ear to figure out where the melody is going to go. Our last song that the 5th grade, by the way, this is the 5th and the 6th grade, our 6th graders come when the 5th graders come to band and they act as their mentors. Our last tune we're going to play for you is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star tonight. That introduces another note, that introduces La, which is the 6th note in the scale. It's starting to push their range. A month ago they couldn't get it. Most of them have gotten La now. And we're doing a wrinkle, a little change in Twinkle, is that we're going to play the first half for you in duple, and then we're going to play the second half in triple. Doesn't work very well for the words. But the 6th grade has a song that they're going to play for you tonight that utilizes the Twinkle song only in triple time. So this was a good exercise for the 5th grade to stretch their thinking, because you don't walk in 3 and you don't talk in 3. And so they've kind of struggled with this a little bit. In fact, this morning, the trumpets were asking for clarification, or yesterday, the trumpets were asking for clarification, which I thought was great because it came from them. So we're going to play Twinkle, and listen for where that change to triple begins. Here we go. And 5th grade parents, they've just completed their first concert of many, and they were so excited. Some of them were nervous today. Some of them were just so excited. So 5th grade is going to go find their parents in the auditorium, please. 5th grade. Any 7th and 8th graders who are mentoring 6th graders, please come to the stage at this time. All right, we're ready for our 6th grade portion. We have some 7th and 8th graders joining us that come to 6th grade band and mentor. Same thing as 5th grade. Now, this is the first piece, Milestone March, that we learned, was the first one that I handed out in September. 6th graders at that point are still fairly weak with their reading skills. They've had the whole summer off. So this piece utilizes quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, and was meant to get them back into playing. But unlike the beginners who play in unison, that means there's no harmony, this piece starts to utilize some harmony. So you can listen for that. Now the sixth grade, in the beginning, we started to work on a new rhythm, a dotted quarter note, which gets all of beat 1 and the first half of beat 2, and it's generally followed by its little brother or sister, the 8th note. So in order to do this, we picked a familiar piece of music so they'll know if they're getting it right or not. So we would like to play for you America. The challenge with this one, as well as having a dotted quarter note, is it's also in 3 beats per measure. Again, that idea of, in the beginning when they first started it, they wanted to put a rest in there to give it 4 beats to make it even. So we're going to play America, better known as My Country 'Tis of Thee. The last piece that the 6th grade is going to play for you tonight, called Children's Noel, is a combination of 3 different tunes. You're going to hear Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. You're going to hear Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in duple. At some point in the middle, you're going to hear it come back in the trombones in triple. And in the meantime, it's paired with We Three Kings of Orientar and the First Noel. This piece is much more complicated in that people are doing different things. Sections are playing different rhythms as well as different pitches. Melodies are going up and melodies are going down, and they have to keep it all together. This is their challenge piece, and I think they're going to do a great job for you tonight.
like to point out in the 6th grade band, we have 2 students who came to me the first couple weeks of September and said, you know, gee, I'm a 6th grader and I wished I'd sign up for band. Is it still too late? And I said, no, if you're willing to work hard. So, please raise your hand. Sam Nickel in the trombone section and Tim Boyd in the trumpet section. And now I'm waiting for the 7th and 8th grade to appear. All right. Our first piece that the 7th and 8th grade is going to play for you tonight is a march. 75 years ago, on December 7th, 1941, hundreds of Japanese fighter planes attacked the American Navy base at Pearl Harbor, near Honolulu, Hawaii.
Hace 75 años, en diciembre 7 del 1941, cientos de aviones japoneses atacaron el base naval en Pearl Harbor por Honolulu, Hawaii.
The assault lasted just under 2 hours.
El asalto lastimó por 2 horas.
The Japanese managed to destroy nearly 20 American Navy vessels.
Los japoneses destruyeron casi 20 barcos americanos,
including 8 enormous battleships,
incluyendo 8 grandes barcos de batalla
and more than 300 airplanes.
y más de 300 aviones.
The next day, Franklin Delano Roosevelt asked Congress to declare war on Japan.
El próximo día, el presidente Franklin D. Roosevelt preguntó al Congreso que declararon guerra contra Japón.
The United States entered World War II.
Los Estados Unidos entró en la Guerra Mundial Segunda.
Pacific March was written to honor the 2,400 soldiers and sailors who lost their lives that morning.
Pacific March fue escrita para honrar los 2,400 soldados y barqueros que perdieron sus vidas esta mañana.
Our march. I spend a lot of time listening to music before the school year starts and picking music that I think will be appropriate for the students that I have before me and their capabilities. And I heard Pacific March and I thought, gee, I think that's a good march to start off the school year with. Not too difficult, but yet it introduced the idea of the dotted eighth and the 16th note rhythm that is in the Star Spangled Banner. Thought that was a good reinforcement. And then I read the notes that came along with the piece of music that we just read to you. And it was an excellent way to tie music into our history curriculum and our geography curriculum. So we always try to extend our band to not only talk about math and talk about vocabulary and English, add some history in there, sometimes some science. Now, in the fall, we also have the privilege of playing for the veterans who come in and talk with us for Veterans of the Classroom Day. And we always need to pick a patriotic song for that occasion. The song that I picked this year is called Song for an American Hero. It's not written for any particular person or event, just for heroes in general. Our last piece for you tonight is, again, our challenge piece called Do You Hear What I Hear? And I know you know the melody. What I didn't know when I picked this piece, and again, I picked it for a lot of musical things, was that the program notes about this piece say that it was written in 1962 during the Cuban Missile Crisis. So then we get to talk about where is Cuba, and that was quite interesting because they didn't know, or not many knew. And it was interesting to hear kind of share, what do you think you know about this? Where is this? And so we now have a map of the United States in our band room, and we're able to talk a little bit more about history. So this piece is just so beautiful. The parts get more complex, the rhythms get more complex.
They're working hard on blending and balancing, knowing when to shape the melody, when to play out, and when to hold back. Do you hear what I hear? At this point, I see the high school getting ready to come down, and you're in for a treat. I'd like to introduce to you my colleague, Kate Myford. It's so nice now not to have the whole program. And it's exciting to see how the kids that started as 5th graders are now in the high school.
You will notice that the first one, 25 or 6 to 4, is a pop tune made famous by Chicago, and it's about writing music, and it's one that they've fallen in love with. In fact, frequently when I come into the band room, after being in the hallway during class periods, before the bell even rings, they've broken out in an impromptu performance of 25 or 6 to 4. We have a new addition to our band this year. We have an electric guitar, which has been wonderful in the football games when it's dry, not so great when it's wet. But I'm very happy to have a bass guitarist in the band this year. piece, Fields of Clover, was something actually one of our students heard at another school's band concert and loved it so much, brought it back to me and said, you should do this piece. So I looked it up and lo and behold, we had it, Fields of Clover, and it is a beautiful showcase for our clarinet section. All right, now you'll really start to see some student input here. Freshmen, why don't you go ahead and get set up for the next one. And I'll talk a little bit about this part of our curriculum. One of the projects we did this fall was give the students almost limitless control over a musical situation. In order to do that, I grouped them into quartets. And each quartet had to come up with a musical project And this group of young gentlemen decided that they were going to write their own piece of music to play together. And so this is the world premiere of this piece. Other than the music room as a high school, this is the first time this has been heard by a live audience. In fact, they were feeling a little nervous about doing it, but their classmates insisted that they do it. You'll see a good resemblance between this piece, which is called Trumpet Possibilities, and the Vince Guaraldi piece we'll be playing later on in the program.
And now we will segue from our newest piece on the program to our oldest. The next song, the Hanukkah song, is an ancient Jewish tune, and this is in honor of everyone who may not necessarily celebrate Christmas at this time of year, but there are so many holidays celebrated through this time of year. We wanted to honor at least one other tradition, and the Jewish tradition of celebrating Hanukkah actually coincides pretty closely with the tradition of Christmas this year, because Hanukkah begins on Christmas Eve. How many of you have seen a Charlie Brown Christmas special? Raise your hand. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a beloved classic now. And also the music of Vince Guaraldi is a beloved classic now. Vince Guaraldi is the man behind all of the Charlie Brown tunes you know and love. And he and his trio have many wonderful albums, but I think their best known is the Charlie Brown Christmas album. And we're going to play a medley of selections of Vince Guaraldi's original music, including Linus and Lucy, which was the Charlie Brown theme, and also his wonderful arrangements of O Tannenbaum, which is O Christmas Tree, and also, let's see, Skating is an original tune of his, and Christmas Time is Here. I love those tunes. I don't know about you. I love those tunes. All right. So before I go on to our very last piece of the evening, I just want to take a moment to help you to look at the important dates coming up. For those middle schoolers, you have an in-school concert on Thursday, December 22nd. And then we have, on January 14th, we have 2 of our high school band members who are participating in the senior festival, not actually as band members, but as singers. Though certainly all of their musical training for band has certainly paid off and helped them to achieve that very high honor. So can I have my senior district soloists stand up? Thank you. They all had to audition. We have Louis Cosme and Michelle Massey. They had to audition, they had to sight read, and they had to sing a scale in front of a stranger, judge, music educator, and they had to compete across the district, and it was very competitive this year, and I'm very proud of all the work, hard work they put into it. So if you are interested, that concert is going to happen at Mechanics Hall in Worcester on January 14th, and you can contact me if you want more details on that. Then we have junior district auditions coming up in January 28th. So for those of you middle schoolers who are interested in those music festivals, they are really fun. Then we have the St. Patrick's Day Parade in Worcester on the 12th and the world's shortest St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 19th. And those 2 parades are for grades 7 and up. So keep those in mind. They're really fun. It's fun to come and watch them all march. So for our final piece, we are going to play, I think this is what the band's other favorite, other than 25 or 6 to 4, In the Hall of the Mountain King, which is from Peer Gynt Suite No. 1 by Edvard Grieg. You probably know this tune as well.